The massive warship Dominator hung in the darkness of space like a metal mountain. Inside its command bridge, Captain Vex of the Krull Empire watched the small blue planet on his screen. Earth, the humans' homeworld. His warriors had been raiding human colonies for 3 cycles now. The soft, weak humans always ran. They always surrendered. "Captain, we're picking up a distress signal," his second officer, Tor, announced. The scaled alien's 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the data. "It's from the human mining station on Moon 7. They're under attack by—" "Wait, this can't be right." Vex turned his horned head toward the officer. "What is it?" "The swarm, sir. The Devourers. They've entered this system." The bridge went silent. Every warrior knew about the swarm. Billions of insect-like creatures that consumed entire worlds. They left nothing behind but dead rocks floating in space. Even the mighty Krull Empire avoided them. "Show me," Vex commanded. The main screen switched to show Moon 7. The small human mining station was surrounded by a cloud of black shapes. Thousands of swarm ships, each one carrying millions of the hungry creatures. The humans' few defense ships were already burning wrecks. "The humans are sending out a general distress call," Tor reported. "They're begging for help from anyone who can hear them." Vex's warriors laughed. The sound was harsh and cruel in the metal bridge. "Let the sworn have them," one warrior said. "Saves us the trouble of conquering them later." "Yes," another agreed. "The humans are weak. They live on a soft world with gentle weather and easy prey. They're not like us. We evolved on Krull Prime, where the very air tries to kill you. We are true Deathworlders. The humans? They're just lucky their planet had no real predators." Vex nodded slowly. It was true. Humans were fragile. They needed special suits just to walk on most planets. Their bodies broke easily. They got sick from things that wouldn't even make a Krull child sneeze. And now, faced with real danger, they cried for help like younglings. "Sir," Tor interrupted, "I'm detecting movement from Earth. Ships are launching." "How many?" Vex asked, amused. 10? 20? Do they think their tiny fleet can stop the swarm? Tor's scales went pale. "No, sir, not 20. 200. No. 2,000. Sir, they're still launching. I'm counting 5,000 ships now. 10,000. They keep coming." The laughter on the bridge died. On the screen, Earth's orbit filled with lights. Ships of every size and shape poured out from hidden bases, from under oceans, from inside mountains. Massive battleships that dwarfed even the Dominator. Carriers launching thousands of fighter craft. Ships covered in weapons the Krull had never seen before. That's impossible," Vex whispered. "Where did they hide all these ships?" "Sir, I'm reading their communications." Tor's voice shook. "They're not just Earth ships. They're calling in their entire species. Ships from Mars colony, from Jupiter station, from the outer rings. Even their merchant ships are armed and responding." The human fleet moved as one toward Moon 7. No hesitation. No fear. Just cold, precise movement like a massive beast awakening from sleep. "They're broadcasting something," Tor said. He put it on the speakers. A human voice filled the bridge. Calm, steady, terrifying in its simplicity. "This is Admiral Johnson of Earth Defense Command. Moon 7, hold on. The cavalry is coming. To the swarm, you have threatened human lives. You will not be permitted to continue. To any other species listening, stand clear." Vex watched in growing horror as the human fleet accelerated past speeds the Krull thought impossible. Their ships didn't move like the clumsy vessels he'd fought before. They moved like predators, like things born from a death world. "Captain," Tor's voice cracked. Should we help them?" Vex couldn't answer. He was too busy watching humanity remove its mask of weakness, revealing something far more terrifying underneath. They hadn't been weak at all. They had been holding back. The humans were coming, and space itself seemed to tremble. Captain Vex ordered his ship to follow at a safe distance. He had to see what would happen. Every crawl on the bridge stood frozen, watching the tactical display as the human fleet approached Moon 7 like a storm made of metal and fire. "Captain, I'm analyzing their ships," Tor reported, his claws clicking nervously on his console. "These designs, they don't make sense. The armor is too thick. The weapons are overcharged. The engines are running at levels that should tear the ships apart. Yet they fly," Vex muttered dot on the screen. The swarm noticed the approaching fleet. The black cloud of enemy ships began to shift, turning to face the new threat. The swarm had never retreated from anything. They were the galaxy's nightmare, the unstoppable hunger that had consumed 100 worlds. The human fleet split into perfect formation. No collision, no confusion. Thousands of ships moving like they shared one mind. "Sir, I'm picking up communication between human ships," Tor said. "They're not encrypted. Should I play it?" Vex nodded. A young human voice crackled through. "All units, remember your training. We grew up on a death world. Our ancestors survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, and mass extinctions. We evolved alongside diseases that killed 90% of us. We hunted megafauna to extinction with pointed sticks. These bugs think they're scary? Show them what Earth breeds." Another voice responded, "Copy that. My grandfather used to say humans were the only species crazy enough to live next to active volcanoes and call it prime real estate. Despite the coming battle, the humans were joking, making light of danger. They're insane." One crawl warrior whispered. The first contact happened in seconds. The swarm launched their attack. Millions of bioprojectiles, acid clouds, and penetrator drones. The space around Moon 7 turned into chaos. The human response was unlike anything Vex had seen in 40 years of warfare. Instead of retreating or taking defensive positions, the human ships accelerated into the attack. Smaller human vessels deliberately rammed into swarm ships, detonating in massive explosions that took out dozens of enemies. Pilots laughed over the cum channels as they performed maneuvers that should have killed them from the gravitational forces alone. "Sir, those pilots." Tor's voice was weak. "They're pulling 40G turns." "How are they alive?" "They're medical data from captured colonies." Another officer pulled up files. "Humans can survive damage that would kill most species 3 times over. They can lose limbs and keep fighting. Their bodies produce combat drugs naturally when threatened. They can survive without food for weeks, without water for days. They eat poisons for pleasure, something called capsaicin for fun. They drink ethanol." Ethanol. On screen, the battle raged. Human ships deployed weapons that seemed impossible. Bombs that created tiny black holes. Beings that deleted matter from existence. Clouds of nanomachines that ate through swarm bioarmor like acid. But what terrified Vex most was the coordination. When one human ship was damaged, 3 others immediately moved to protect it. When a gap opened in their formation, it was filled before the swarm could exploit it. They fought not as individuals, but as one massive organism. "New contacts." Tor shouted. More human ships. Coming from everywhere. Asteroid mining vessels with mining lasers turned into weapons. Cargo haulers ramming enemy ships. Even their hospital ships are armed. A massive human dreadnought pushed through the swarm lines. Its broadcast echoed across all channels. "This is Captain Smith of the Remember Earth. Fun fact for you bugs. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We don't stop. We don't quit. We literally walked our prey to death. And now, You threatened our young on that moon. Congratulations, you just became prey. A dreadnought's main gun charged. The energy readings made Vex's instruments scream warnings. When it fired, the beam carved through 1,000 swarm ships like they were made of paper. How? Vex asked nobody. How did we never see this? We raided their colonies for 3 years. Tor pulled up data, his 4 eyes wide with realization. Sir, those colonies we raided, they were all less than 50 years old. Minimal defenses. Small populations. But look at this. After every raid, human military recruitment went up by 300%. They weren't weak, sir. They were letting us hit them to justify military expansion. They were using us to prepare their people for war. Vex felt his scales turn cold. They sacrificed their own colonies? No, sir. They evacuated them first. Every time. We thought they were running away, but they saved every life they could, then used our attacks to unite their species. They played us. The swarm was falling back. The unstoppable devourers were retreating from humanity's fury. Asterisk. The battle for Moon 7 lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the space around the small moon was filled with debris, mostly from swarm ships. The human fleet had lost maybe 200 vessels out of tens of thousands. The swarm had lost everything they brought, Captain. Vex watched the human ships collect, their damaged vessels and dead with a care that seemed at odds with their savage fighting style. They recovered every escape pod, every piece of wreckage that might contain survivors. Sir, Tor interrupted his thoughts. We're being hailed. It's the human flagship. On screen appeared Admiral Johnson. He was older, with gray hair and scars on his face. His eyes were calm, but held something that made Vex's warrior instincts scream danger. Captain Vex of the Crawl Empire, the human said. I know you've been watching. I know your ship. You raided New Haven Colony 2 months ago. Vex straightened. If you seek revenge, no. Johnson cut him off. I want to educate you. You call yourselves Deathworlders because Crawl Prime has high gravity and dangerous wildlife. But let me tell you about Earth. The screen split, showing images of Earth alongside the Admiral. Our world, Johnson continued, is a constant apocalypse that we just got used to. 70% of our surface is covered in water that's full of predators. We have storms that can destroy entire cities, earthquakes that reshape continents. Our own sun tries to kill us with radiation, but we just put on lotion and lay in it for fun. Images flashed by hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis. We have tiny organisms, bacteria, viruses that evolve constantly to kill us in new ways. We have insects that carry plagues. We have plants that produce deadly poisons. The ground itself can open up and swallow whole buildings. The air can become poison in confined spaces. Even our own bodies can turn against us. We call it cancer. Vex watched in growing disbelief as images showed humans living through these disasters. Rebuilding, continuing. But here's the real difference between us. Johnson's voice hardened. Your people evolved to be the apex predator on your world. You were always the strongest. But humans? We evolved in the middle of the food chain. We were prey that decided to become predators. We had to outthink creatures stronger than us, outendure creatures faster than us. That's impossible, Vex said. No prey species becomes dominant. Johnson actually smiled. We were hunted by big cats, bears, wolves, even other ape species. So we did something no other species did. We made friends with our predators. We took wolves and turned them into dogs. We took wildcats and made them pets. We domesticated horses that could kill us with one kick. We don't conquer nature, Captain. We make it family. New images appeared, humans with various Earth animals, working together. This is why you misjudged us, Johnson explained. You saw our compassion as weakness, our cooperation as softness, our reluctance to fight as inability. But, Captain, we don't avoid fighting because we're weak. We avoid it because we know what we become when we stop holding back. What do you mean? Vex asked. We're persistence predators, Captain. We don't kill quickly like you do. We chase. We outlast. We wear down. In our ancient history, we hunted by following prey for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. That instinct never left us. When threatened, we don't just fight back. We eliminate the threat completely. Forever. The Admiral gestured to the debris field around Moon 7. The swarm made a mistake. They threatened human lives. So we'll hunt them now. Not just here, but everywhere. We'll follow them back to their home clusters. We'll burn out every hive, every queen, every egg. It might take us 50 years, but we won't stop. We can't stop. It's not in our nature. You're saying you'll genocide them? Vex couldn't hide his shock. No. We'll give them one chance to never attack another sapient species again. If they refuse, then yes, we'll end them. Completely. It's not cruelty, Captain. It's survival instinct. A wolf might kill one sheep, but if it develops a taste for the flock, the shepherd eliminates the wolf. We're the shepherds of our part of the galaxy now. Vex felt his understanding of the universe shifting. All this time, you had this fleet, ... Not just this fleet, Johnson corrected. This is maybe 5% of our actual forces. The rest are exploring, building, preparing for threats we haven't even met yet. We learned long ago that the universe is trying to kill us. So we prepare for everything. The Admiral leaned forward. Pass this message to your empire, Captain. Humanity wants peace. We want to explore, to build, to make friends. But if you make us fight, remember, we're the species that looked at extinction events and called them Tuesday. The transmission ended, leaving Vex's bridge in stunned silence. Through the viewports, they watched human ships tenderly collecting escape pods from destroyed swarm vessels. The same hands that had unleashed apocalyptic weapons now carefully saved enemy survivors. Captain, Tor spoke carefully, should we report this to the Empire? Before Vex could answer, his communication console lit up with incoming signals. Dozens of them. Other species had been watching too. The first message was from the Altari Federation, known for their advanced technology. Captain Vex, did you witness what we witnessed? The humans. They're not what anyone thought. Next came the Void Dancers, beings of pure energy who rarely involved themselves in physical matters. The Deathworlders of Earth exceeded all calculations. Recalibration necessary. More messages flooded in. The entire galactic community had been watching humanity's response, and fear mixed with awe rippled through every transmission. Sir, Poor pulled up a priority alert. The Galactic Council is calling an emergency session. Subject: humanity's classification status. Vex had never seen the Council move so fast. Within hours, representatives from 57 species gathered in virtual space. Vex was called as a witness, being the closest observer to the battle. The council chamber materialized around Vex's consciousness. Representatives appeared as glowing forms, each unique to their species. At the center floated Elder Cax of the ancient builders, a race so old they claimed to have seen stars being born. "We have gathered," Cax intoned, "to discuss the human situation. Captain Vex of the Crawl, share your observations." Vex transmitted his ship's complete sensor logs. The chamber fell silent as thousands of alien minds processed the battle. "Data. Impossible weapon yields," muttered the Techno Collective. biological tolerance beyond classification. Added the medical union, tactical coordination, suggesting hive mind capability, yet maintaining individual consciousness. Observed the strategic alliance. Elder Cax raised a crystalline appendage for silence. The question before us is simple. How do we classify humanity? They registered themselves as a level 2 civilization, barely spacefaring. This is clearly false. They're at least level 5, argued the Altari representative. Their technology, level 6, interrupted the Void Dancers. We detected manipulation of space-time during the battle. Micro-singularities as weapons. That's not the issue, Vex found himself speaking. Every consciousness turned to him. You're measuring them wrong. You're using technological scales for something that isn't about technology. Explain, Elder Cax commanded. Humans aren't advanced because of their tools. They're dangerous because of what they are. They evolved on a planet that should have killed them 1,000 times over. Instead of dying, they adapted to everything. Disease? They developed medicine. Predators? They became better predators. Natural disasters? They predicted them, then built cities that could withstand them. Vex continued, but here's what makes them truly terrifying. They did it together. Every other Deathworld species, including mine, survived by becoming the strongest individual warriors. Humans survived by cooperation. They're a race of billions that can act as one when threatened. Preposterous, scoffed the Zephyr Dominion representative. No species maintains such cohesion without a hive mind. They don't have a hive mind, Vex responded. They have something worse, empathy. They feel each other's pain. When you attack one human, every human feels threatened. When you destroy a human colony, billions of humans take it personally. The psychological profiles support this, the medical union added. Humans form emotional bonds not just with their own species, but with others. They pack bond with anything, animals, robots, even inanimate objects they name. They will die protecting things they've bonded with. Elder Cax processed this. So when the swarm threatened the mining station... they threatened something humanity had claimed as theirs to protect, Vex confirmed. And humans don't just defeat threats. They eliminate them so thoroughly that the threat never rises again. They call it salting the earth, a reference to ancient wars where they made sure nothing could grow on enemy land ever again. The council murmured in distress. There's more, Vex added. The Admiral told me this was 5% of their fleet. If true, humanity could fight the entire galaxy simultaneously and possibly win. Then we must restrict them. The Zephyr Dominion demanded. Contain them before. You want to threaten the species that just made the swarm run? Vex asked. The species that treats war like a natural disaster they've gotten good at surviving? Elder Cax made a decision. Humanity will be classified as level 7 protective apex. Do not threaten them. Do not threaten anything they protect. Trade with them. Learn from them. But never, ever make them stop holding back. The classification shocked everyone. Level 7 had never been used before. It was theoretical, reserved for species too dangerous to oppose, but too valuable to isolate. Send this to all species, Cax commanded. Let the galaxy know. Humans are friends to those who seek peace, death to those who bring war. Approach accordingly.